Hello, my dear friends. Let's start with the chapter 15, Politics and Government. The original framers of the Constitution of the United States almost got it right. The concept was good of having a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. However, the implementation did not go as ideally as the concept of democracy. For most of our recorded history, mankind has been ruled by authoritarian, dictatorial, or fascist regimes where the common citizen doesn't have much say in the development, implementation, or enforcement of the laws and rules. In all these systems that we have been using since ancient times, there is typically one person at the top who has total and uncontestable power and authority. He or she can do pretty much anything that they like, and there is absolutely nothing that anyone can do about it. How did this one person get to the top of the pyramid? Most often, it is simply by birth into a royal family. Can you think of a more grotesque, unfair, and unjust system? And yet, we just accept it and submissively live with it. Is democracy the answer? Is democracy the answer? It was to overcome this injustice that the framers of the United States Constitution came up with the idea of trying democracy. If people could vote on the various issues, then no single person is making the rules, and the majority rule prevails. But how do you get people to vote on the issues? There were many practical problems. To overcome these, it was decided that groups of people should elect a representative by a majority vote, and representatives would then all get together to vote on various issues. Whatever the majority of representatives vote on will be adopted as law. But there are some serious systematic problems with this approach. This is why we have a president of the United States who got fewer votes than his opponent did. Is that a fair system? Is that a system we desire? Let's understand about the voting process. Let us say we have an election and about 60% of the qualified citizens vote, and one particular candidate gets 55% of the vote and is elected. Now you have a representative that only 33% of the citizens voted for. Is he or she really representing the entire group? A vote for him only signifies that he was judged to be better than his opponent. It doesn't mean that he agrees with everyone that voted for him. In the best situation, he representing a minority of his constituents. On certain issues, that number may be even smaller. And what about days when he misses a vote completely? Now, how are his constituents being represented at all? And what if some special interest groups offer him some special consideration or bribes in common language to vote a certain way? Now he has a choice to make. One, he can vote the way the special interest group wants him to vote and gain the incentives, or to vote the way his constituents would have wanted him to vote and get nothing. He is a smart guy, which is how he won the election. He knows what is good for him. By voting his conscience, not only does he lose out on the incentive, but also, most probably, he will lose the next election, since the special interest would put their resources and support his opponent in the next election. He is not stupid. He knows what is good for him. At least 95% of all politicians around the world vote with the special interest groups. So we are getting true representation about 2 to 3% of the time. Is that a good and fair system? Just like communism, democracy appears good on the surface, but the implementation and actual functioning of the system is far from perfect. With a 2 to 3% participation level, what else can we expect anyway? The election that was not. Let's learn about the election that was not. All of the above problems may arise even if we assume that the election itself was totally honest and fair. What if the ballots are counted incorrectly, whether intentionally or mistakenly? What if the election rules are incorrect? What if the voters are unable to get to the voting booths for any reason? What if the ballots are thrown away or misplaced intentionally or accidentally? The list of potential problems can go on and on. It is almost impossible to quantify the effects of these. Let's learn about technology to the rescue. Someone had a bright idea. It appears that humans are causing most of these problems, either intentionally or as human errors. If we were to use machines for voting, we would eliminate these problems. So they replaced the manual ballots with voting machines. But the situation got worse. Let's learn about the black box of technology. Armed with the information that new computerized voting machines are now in place, Mr. Voter goes confidently to vote. He uses the touchscreen to vote for candidate A out of choices of A, B, C, or D. When he is done, the screen flashes. When he is done, the screen flashes. Done. Thank you. And then goes blank. Mr. Voter walks out thinking he has done the right thing, but with absolutely no proof of whom he voted for, no printout or any other hard copy proof. Mr. Voter talks to a lot of people, and an overwhelming majority say they voted for the same candidate A. Mr. Voter goes to bed happy. He knows candidate A will be the winner. He wakes up the next morning and surprise. Candidate D has won by a wide majority. What happened? The black box worked perfectly. A private company designs and programs the voting machine. The software for data input and processing is their priority program, not available to the general public for inspection or verification. No proof is provided for the data input. When Mr. Voter touched the screen thinking he is voting for a candidate A, did the machine really note that as a vote for A, or did it count it as a vote for D? With no backup hard copy proof of the real data being entered, there is absolutely no way to double check or verify that the machine is functioning as it should. If the machine manufacturer is part of the special interest group that is supporting candidate D, the machine can easily be programmed to declare the results in favor of candidate D. And there is absolutely no way to dispute the results. But isn't that a perfect way to steal election? You got it. Elections are being stolen as you read this book. So, technology alone is not the answer. Let's learn about turning the black box into a white box. For the machines to work the way they are meant to, two things are absolutely essential. Number one, hard copy backup of data input. When a person votes, they need to be given a printout of whom they have voted for so they can verify that their votes have been tallied correctly. At the same time, the same information needs to go to a third party not connected with the personnel at the voting booth or with the people programming the machine so a later audit can be conducted if necessary. Number 2. Open access to the programming code. Any outside party should be able to verify that final results are being tallied correctly and match the input data. Who needs the representative? Even if the election fraud is eliminated totally, we still end up with a representative who typically represents a minority of his constituents and doesn't necessarily vote like they would like him to. So, why do we need him in the first place? For a few more years, as we continue in the third dimension, we still need the representatives for two major reasons. One, we are still operating on systems that were designed in the 18th century over 225 years ago. And two, technology is not ubiquitous at the moment to allow people to vote directly. Let's learn about voting in the new world. In the new world of the fourth dimension, everyone will have constant access to technology that is connected to the equivalent of the internet or the World Wide Web. Every issue that requires a vote can be voted on directly by the people themselves. There will be sufficient time given for people to vote on an issue. It is not like a current vote in parliament where it is only at a specific time, and if you are not present, you miss the opportunity to vote. Everyone will have enough spare time and a sense of civic responsibility to regularly monitor the decisions that require a vote and vote their conscience. The process will be very simple. If an issue only requires a regional vote, only people in that region will be able to look at it and vote on it. The result tally for all votes will be freely available to everyone at all times. Why would we need any representatives then? No representatives needed. No election fraud. People's will is being truly reflected in all decisions. No special interests, no bribes, legal or illegal. All we would need are administrators, but all activities of the administrators will be transparent to everyone. The politics of war. Let's learn about the politics of war. Since we operate in a world where the top person makes the decisions, generally that person has uncontested power and authority. This person may develop a big ego since he feels that he can do no wrong and everyone has to submit to his will and power. The bigger the ego grows, the more drunk on power he becomes. Power means control and ownership. Unless one controls, one cannot feel the power. So they need more and more things to own and more people to control. Greed and control become the driving force for the person. Hence, the need develops for conquering others to increase the span of control and own more things. Since others do not want to be subjugated, force has to be used. That starts the war. The trouble with war is that it is self perpetuating. The winner feels even more powerful and develops an addiction to acquire more and more power and ownership. The loser wants revenge and wants to take back what he lost. Thus, both the winner and the loser end up perpetuating the war. It becomes a vicious circle of violence. Let's understand about no nations, no war. It is only sovereign nations that fight each other. For example, in the USA, the state of New York doesn't attack the neighboring state of New Jersey. Similarly, in India, for example, the state of Rajasthan doesn't attack the neighboring state of Gujarat. In the new world, we will have no nations. The entire world will be a global village. Then who is going to attack whom? Let's know about the politics of peace. In the new world, peace will prevail. Since people will have no desire to hurt anyone and no desire to take their property. The prevalence of unconditional love means accepting people as they are and considering everyone to be at the same level. If you have no desire to prove yourself as superior to anyone else, you have no desire to control them. If you have no desire to control anyone, you will never get into any violent situations. Peace comes automatically when everyone operates from unconditional love. Let's know about destruction of the military industrial complex. Every nation currently tries to have the biggest military possible. The purpose of the military is one and only one: destruction. Our concept of power is that the more we can destroy, the more powerful we are. In our society, we glorify the power of destruction and killing. We want to build the biggest and the most destructive bombs. Our heroes are the ones that can kill the most people. We even teach our children that violence is the way to strength. What do you have to do to win at a video game? Kill the most people or things. We glorify violence. Most of our movies and our TV programs are full of violence. Violence originates from the desire to control. If you have no desire to control anyone, we have no need for violence. Mahatma Gandhi showed us what we can achieve with non-violence. In the new world, we have no need for violence in any form. Hence, we have no need for destruction. The only thing we will destroy is the military industrial complex, whose sole purpose is destruction. Let's understand the government to truly serve the people. Very little government would be required in the new world. There is a very little control, hence, very little government. Total freedom of movement, total freedom of thought, total freedom of expression would all be parts of regular life. Compared to our current situation, you will be amazed at how well we can get along with very little government. Peace, harmony, and freedom. Now there is something to look forward to. This is the end of the chapter. Thank you.